I know, right? The countdown finishes and all of a sudden the mics are hot and then you get nervous, right? It's PDGA Radio with Grant Zellner, Jennifer Allen, and this week, a couple on this Valentine's week, Missy, Gannon, Tom, Szevin. You all are well known on tour. People see you all the time. They think they know you. We're going to prove that everybody has overestimated just how much they know truly about the phenomenon that is Missy and Tom. Welcome to PDGA Radio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Nice to be here.
How's the off season been so far? Enjoying Florida? You get the privilege of it's starting at home, so you kind of feel that extra few weeks of rest.
Yeah.
Since you don't have to really travel to the first couple events, so that's super awesome.
Yeah, and that was a surprise because we thought that the change to this tour structure was going to happen for 2025. We had heard about that happening, potentially happening, and then all of a sudden it was happening, and we were like, okay, well, that's kind of nice. It's still 6 hours away, but that's nothing when you're a touring pro. And it's fun because we're going to go for 2 weeks, All-Stars, and then the chess.com Invitational, and then have like a week off before going to Texas. So we'll be able to stop by again. This is our first time having a home before going out on tour. So like figuring out what we need to do to prep the home to be like good to be, on its own for a while. It's those things that you just, we haven't had to do before. So yeah, it's going to be nice to have that start.
I'm like that too. Even to this day, when I leave for a long time, the whole family, that is, when we all leave, I'm always afraid I'm going to come back and there'll be like paint peeling and there'll be, some leaking water someplace I didn't know about. And, some kind of crazy disaster will have befallen the house. But mostly my kids take care of that, on a daily basis. They just destroy everything. So that's fine. Missy, by way of introduction, for those that might be watching or listening, that, they know you by name, they know you maybe from recent victories like the 2023 Pro Tour Championship or the 23 Ledgestone Open. Carrying it back just a little bit further, you actually repeated at Ledgestone. You got that in 22 as well. You were the 21 Tour champion, 21 throw pink. Maybe that's where the big money Missy that people have heard, maybe that's where that really kicked in, was that 2021, that big end to the season. But you've got 40 total victories, according to your PDGA profile, dating back to the very first year you had a PDGA number. You were right out the gate winning, local events. Can you talk just about the arc of your career, starting in 2016 and then now all of a sudden multi-time tour champion? I mean, how has did the arc feel right? Like, does it feel like, yeah, this makes sense? Or do you sit here and go, how in the world did I get here?
A little bit of both, I guess. We were living in Colorado when we first started playing disc golf competitively. And there's the scene in Colorado is just so amazing. And there's so many clubs to join. We just sort of just dove right in. And we played our first sanctioned event in 2016. I didn't know what division to play, so I played rec women. Played really well. I think I would have won advanced if I had played that division. But again, I had no reference. I had no idea.
Sandbagger. Okay.
Yeah. I take responsibility. I just didn't know. So I went right to advanced. I was like 25 in 2016, maybe. So I was like, not young, but I was a little late to the game, sort of. But I'd come from a sports background, and I think it's just something I fell in love with. And if you know me well, if I put my mind to something, it's gonna happen. For me, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it happen. And I do everything with 100% of myself. And so, it may be a little surprise because you can never predict the future, but I definitely knew that when I decided to go all in and go on tour and all of that, like I was going to do whatever I could to keep making it happen. Even, even though we were pretty much broke after the first half a year that we tried touring, we just figured it out. And, it wasn't just me. Tom had a major hand in that as well, taking on jobs like at UPS during the holiday season, which is crazy.
That's a great time to work for UPS.
Oh yeah. It's pretty wild there.
Yeah. So, we just both have been really determined people, and we're just a great team, and we've just made it happen. So, I'm just very thankful for what I've accomplished since then. But, if you ask, just like I said, I just say I do everything with 100% of myself. So I'm not super surprised by it all.
Since this is Valentine's week, maybe we should go back to, how did you and Tom meet? Is that maybe a story that some people don't know?
Maybe. Yeah. Do you want to tell?
Yeah, Tom, who are you? This guy next to you. He's just been hovering there.
I talk a lot.
That's what I do best.
Yeah.
I'm a good hoverer.
Oh my God.
Well, it was we were sophomores in high school. We had mutual friends. So it's kind of weird. I guess I'll explain a lot. I went to a middle school, elementary school, K through 8, and then you have to choose a high school. And Missy went to one high school, I went to the other, and I went to the other high school. But I had friends that went to her high school. Yeah. No. But so my friends were friends with Missy, and then we ended up going bowling one day. And at first I didn't think she actually liked me. So it was kind of like a weird situation. But later on I find out she does. And it's kind of history ever since.
It's so funny to think about high school relationships and all the little things that, are... Yeah, to look back and have all of that history and, kind of grow into adults together is it's just such a funny thing to think back on. But yeah, it was your typical little high school, romance that, I went to go watch some soccer game that he played in, and he was a defender, but he decided to play goalie because he would be able to sit or be on the side where I was watching from. Little things like that, just really funny.
I'm the sweetie.
So funny. So then, we just, just kept going. We went to different colleges for a couple of years, and then he ended up coming over to my school, just kind of by coincidence, sort of. It wasn't necessarily in the plan. And then all of a sudden, he came to come play sports at my school. And then, it's just crazy. It's just been, fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy 15 years, 16 years, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Was a lot of this in New York, or at least the origin was in New York, and then other places began to pop up as new addresses and
both born and raised in New York, and then moved out to Colorado in 2014.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
at what point did disc golf become something more than a hobby that you both shared, or at what point did you go, hey, maybe we should do this as a career, and how did the arrangement sort of set up where it's and Missy's going to be the player? And I mean, how did I feel like I'm doing a terrible job of asking this question, and yet I think you know what I'm getting at. So
No, I think it's a great question because it's when we moved out to Colorado, for example, let's just set it up. We just were like, you know what? I'm sick of New York, the hustle and all the just working 9 to 5. Let's just, we had friends out in Colorado already. So that was helpful in the decision, but we just quit our jobs, packed up whatever we, wanted to bring with us, took a 2-month road trip across the country, funny enough, before tour life. Just to
know that was going to prep you for your future.
Exactly. And just explored, as much of the US as we could for a little while. Ended up, just settling in Colorado, and then disc golf happened. So I think we both were actually getting really good pretty quickly. We did understand that, maybe there, especially in 2018, 2018 when I decided to go on tour. The FPO division was pretty small. I mean, it still is, but it's way bigger than it was then.
Yeah.
And I think we understood that it would probably be easier for me to stand out or make waves or do all the things in the FPO division, because the MPO division was already very competitive. And I think Tom would even say he maybe wasn't quite at the MPO level. He was killing
Tom's
it.
Like,
in
wait
M1.
a second.
I know I'm not speaking for him. I thought he could play MPO. I mean, it's so funny because we play practice rounds with like James Conrad and other people sometimes, and Tom will play, and people are always like, "Whoa, like Tom, you're really good." And I'm always just like, "Well, yeah, of course he's really good." Like, I think about like caddies in PGA, and like they're really good at golf themselves, just maybe not quite good enough to play on the professional level. But hey, I'm going to help out this professional that with all the insights and all the things. So it's very, very similar to that situation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a great segue to something I definitely wanted to bring up and ask you, Tom. Years ago, I was into traditional golf and got really, really into it. And I remember there was an article that repeated in Golf Digest or something. It was an anonymous caddy on the PGA Tour that wrote this weekly or monthly or whatever often column. They never revealed who they were, who they caddied for, but they had all kinds of stories from the road, stories about what they had to do for their player, stories that they heard that other caddies had to do for their player, because it becomes more than just you show up and carry the bag. It becomes much more of a support position. And so I wanted to ask you what it looks like for you, how maybe it's changed over the last 3, 4, 5 years, how it looks for you, to pretending you put down on a job thing, what's your job? I am a disc golf pro tour caddy. Like, what does that mean for you, job description wise?
Job description wise, it's definitely a lot of support. I try and do as much of the driving as I can, for one. Take all the videos, do like as much social media as I can. I'm not as savvy as Missy is, but I help out when I can. It's just being there for your player whenever they need something, just being best support you can.
He always brings a lot of great snacks.
Lots of snacks. Yeah,
that I don't eat because I just have
snacks are really for me.
The anxiety doesn't let me do that during the round. But but he's ready. It's ready if I need it.
Yeah. Gotta be
or he'll end up eating it, which is also fine.
Be prepared.
Prepared for anything.
People always ask players what their daily routine looks like. If my tee time is here, then I like to be at the practice green by this much time ahead of time. And that means I have to wake up here, and I like to work out first, or I like to stretch. Or people always ask what their routine is. So Tom, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Are you trying to get up, say in the morning before Misty to prepare something, or before Missy to prepare some things? Are you trying to, what does it look like for you in terms of being prepared for your day?
I guess typically I am up before Missy, make coffee, let the dogs out, make breakfast, but she's usually not feeling breakfast, especially on competition days. So that's pretty much the routine until we start the day, go to practice, go to the tournament. And then after the fact, we're making lunch. A lot of the job is taking care of the dogs too. They're really needy.
What do the afternoons look like on tour when so frequently, not necessarily every single time, but so frequently the FPO field is out fairly early in the morning, done often by noon. Even the final cards might be done by noon, depending on the course. That's a lot of time to have to strategically kill.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't want to get too relaxed. You want to stay in competitive mode, right? For a 3 or 4 day event, but you've got to do something. How do you guys handle that?
Me personally, I'll just speak on my side. I actually find it very helpful to almost completely relax, because you don't realize how much energy, both mentally and physically, that you're expelling during a 3 to 4 to 5 hour round, depending on the course. It's a lot. Your heart rate bounces all over the place, and it's very draining. So honestly, I think for me, I like to get back to the camper, pop on some MPO coverage, and just kind of chill. Eat something, because again, I don't typically eat anything in the morning. So by the end of the round, I'm quite starving. Eat something and just chill. Every once in a while, I might go and do something to keep my mind, I don't know, or maybe I don't really want to watch the MPO coverage or whatever. But yeah, I think it's really important to kind of just stay very level, right? Because you can come back and you don't want to be thinking about the round or whatever. You might not want to be overthinking too many things after whatever the day you had. So yeah, I think it's really good to relax. And do also, very important is do like post round therapy. I'll do some rolling out or hypervolting, all the things that again, like you don't realize how tense you are, and like your muscles are sort of doing crazy things during the round. So yeah, doing the post round therapy and then just vegging out. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I would say, Missy, wouldn't you say that like a large majority of us, I mean, that's what you do. Like it's people think that you're on the road and, oh my gosh, like, did you go see this in this city? And did you go see this? No, we went, we played, we practiced, we slept, we ate, and you repeat. Yeah. And you're just, like she said, you're just exhausted after the round. And it's, to me, I'm amazed at how quickly after the round, the time goes by. And then it's like, oh my God, it's time for bed.
Yeah.
It does fly by after the round is over with, and you've taken your shower or whatever and made your lunch or dinner. And then it's time to go to bed and start over again. So yeah, I would say we, at this level, like we have to take this very seriously, and they're just really, it's a full-time job, and there's just really not all that free time that people really think that there is.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many opportunities to like, you're invited to go do this or that, the other thing. And a lot of the time I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. But it's just, you're using so much energy during that round, each round. It's just, it's nice to hang out for a little while.
Yeah, there's always these locals, that want to be so supportive of all the traveling players, and they want to have these big parties and hang out, and it's you feel so guilty to say no, but it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have the energy to talk.
Well, and that's another thing too. You play your 3 to 5 hour round, and then, at least for me, I always go to the signing booth especially if I know where it is. Sometimes I've skipped it because I honestly didn't know where it was. But I always go to the signing booth, and that's almost 2 hours of my time. And that goes by so fast, but it's, it's great. I love doing it, but so you're at the course for 6 hours, sometimes.
Easy. Yeah.
So,
easy.
Yeah. It goes by fast, the day.
Missy, there's a very good chance that the first time I met you, it was not long after I started with the PDGA and started doing interview and other work on the Disc Golf Network. And probably the first time I met you was me coming over, grabbing you off of the 18th and saying, hey, they want you for an interview. And you're like, who is this guy? And all, and dragging you over. And that just brings to mind how that kind of thing for both of you all has probably changed over the arc of your career from not really having much of any media obligation or social media obligation on behalf of your sponsors to now, when you finish a round of disc golf, you've still got to have the face on. You've still got to be sort of turned on to the audience. You've still got something of a job to do, at least for a little while. And what is it like that, having to balance those things and keep that face on? And Tom, what role do you play, if any, in, maybe having to sort of pump Missy up, like it's time to do an interview, how does that work for you all?
Well, so for me, I'll speak on my end. if they want to do an interview, it probably means I did something pretty good. I mean, sometimes they want to interview you if you didn't have a great round and they expected you to or whatever. But most of the time in my situations, it's usually because something good happened and they want to talk to me. So for me, the energy is still really high. It's exciting. I'm probably feeling pretty good if, I had a good round. So I get to go talk about it a little bit. So I don't really have to like muster up any extra energy, especially it takes so long to kind of decompress after the round that you're still very like high on adrenaline for a little while anyway. So yeah, I think that it's pretty easy to go do interviews. And like I said, it's a privilege when you get to do an interview most of the time. So yeah, I don't take that for granted. No matter how many times somebody wants to interview me, I'm always going to take the opportunity if I'm able to. And I understand that that's that some people would really, give a lot to be in my position to have that media coverage. So I'm always going to be open to it and excited and happy to talk to the media and
to me,
to the fans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's my perspective, but yeah.
Tom, during the round, I've gotten to know many on the tour over the last several years and sort of learned how they operate during a round and how, there are some players that do not want a caddy. They never use a caddy. It's just, they prefer not to. Some that do use a caddy, the caddy knows their role, and their role is to walk up, turn around backwards, here's the bag, and you pull it. They never talk. I mean, within reason, but they never talk. And then there is the relationship that maybe we're used to seeing sometimes in traditional golf coverage where there's whispering in each other's ear and there's pointing at the treetops and there's holding multiple clubs or in our case discs in hand. And you want to go with this. What did you do yesterday? Well, remember last year, how does your role fit in terms of what you're doing during the round?
During the round, for the most part, I try and keep my mouth shut. If I do say something, it's just to keep it light and fun. But for the most part, Missy knows what she's doing. We've gone over the game plan during our practice rounds. Like we know, even sometimes driving to the course, we go over the game plan even more, talk about what we did yesterday, did during practice and whatnot. And so we know what we're doing going to the round. So if I say something during the round, just keeping it light and fun. Doing what I can. It's usually if I try and talk to the caddies too, like keep the vibe light, keep it fun, keep it positive. I can do that easy talking to the caddies usually.
Have you ever had to like sprint to the car just at the moment you get to the farthest away point from the parking lot? I mean, you're smiling, you're going, oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, often. Umbrellas. I always forget something. I feel like, I don't know, almost every round I'm running back to the car. There's a disc we wanted to try out on a different hole, like try something new today. So I always forget the disc. Got to run back, come back and get that.
Or before I realize, okay, I need to put 5 whale socks in my bag, I would only have the one, and I'd drop it on the ground and leave it the last hole, and Tom would just go running back for it. So
there's been some long runs.
Now we just leave it because I have extra.
I remember the cart when the cart broke.
Oh yeah,
at Depot. So not too flat of a course.
Right, right.
And there might have been some ramping of the cart that caused casualty.
I pushed it to its limits.
Yeah, but poor Tom had to,
carry a bag
on the
like
fly
a normal person
and adapt, and then go back and get that cart. So
just rope the cart to your back. Just pick the whole cart up, take a rope, just put it on.
We were thankful that it was one of the carts that you just like put a bag on, so that we could just throw it into the woods and get it later, and then just
literally
on. That's literally. But I can't imagine if it was one of those regular carts that holds all your stuff. That would have been bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I left the keys in there too when I left it there, so I had to run back, get the keys to be able to put the bag away after the round. But luckily Missy was doing her signing, so she was not in a hurry to get anywhere. That was rough.
Yeah.
Well, it is Valentine's week. I feel like I should say it's Valentine's for those who celebrate. You know how you say that for like certain other holidays, you have to, for those who celebrate. I feel like maybe you should say that the loudest for this one, but it is Valentine's week. So in the spirit of that, how do you all keep your relationship quasi-normal when you're living in a world that most people would think is very unique. I mean, you're living on the road, you're making a living doing something that a very, very fraction of a percentage of the people in the world can, make a living doing. It's a strange thing, like I said earlier, to put down on a resume. This is how I make a living. So in the midst of that chaos and those hours on the road and living in a trailer and all those, what kinds of things do you all do to try to keep a relatively normal relationship or to shut the door on that other stuff, so to speak?
I mean, from my perspective, we are, it's corny to say, but it's Valentine's Day. But we're best friends. Like we love hanging out together. We could sit in a room and be totally quiet, and it's all good. We're 100% comfortable with one another. We're 100% ourselves with one another. Like it's just easy when you're able to just be who you are, and yeah, I mean, we're spending almost every minute of the day together. So yeah, that can, who doesn't get annoyed once in a while with each other in a relationship? But like, it's cool because as we've now been on tour for 5 years, I don't even know. We have this new family of friends, and being able to, for instance, hopefully I didn't take your thunder, but like Tom's into mountain biking, and him and Holland Hanley's boyfriend Tyler, I think Aaron Gossage, they all have mountain bikes on tour, and so they've been, towards the end of last season, they were like going on mountain biking things together, and they're going to do a lot of that this year as well. So yeah, just trying to find your own thing is like on tour as well. We've created a really cool dynamic with other people on tour, and yeah, they're kind of like our chosen family who we're with all year long. So yeah, it's just it's a good balance, just making sure that you still have your own things, but at the end of the day, we love spending time together. So it's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, a lot of couples, they go to work to get away or have their like separate time from their partners. And yeah, you guys don't have that. You're living and working together 24/7. So that's definitely, some people would say is harder, but others say, it's perfect. So it just definitely depends on the couple and their dynamics. But being that support, like it's probably a hard situation for you, Tom. Like if she is playing bad, it changes the stress level just a little bit. Do you allow Missy to take that stress out on you without taking it personally? Is that hard?
This is a good question.
It's easy. I get it. I've been there.
Personally?
Yeah, no, I understand where she's coming from, and I feel like, honestly, like I'm there vicariously through Missy, so I feel what she's feeling usually, and like if she throws a bad shot, I'm like, damn, that wasn't so good, and like I feel it.
But literally because I'm
but
like,
he doesn't
wow,
say it, and that's the key.
Yeah, right. I try and absorb what I can.
Thankfully,
do you respond with, but you tried your hardest, babe?
No, honestly, if he did that, I would be like, no, you're lying to me.
You're fired.
Like thankfully, I mean, I know that whatever happens is 100% my fault. And if there's a scenario that like I did ask for his advice because I was freaking out or I just really didn't know, sometimes it goes amazingly well. And I know that those are the times where Tom's like, like I know it. And it's like, but if I don't do it well enough, I'm like, well, what, on to the next. I don't know. I didn't know what to do in the first place. So at least I had somebody to tell me maybe a little bit of advice. So yeah, I'm never going to be like, that was your fault. I 100% know that I messed up, like that. It's all on me in that case.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of times too, when a player asks a caddy for advice, they're really just talking out loud. Some of them really don't want advice. Some of them want them to confirm their original spot.
Which
Tom,
is
you're
good caddy
probably
advice.
there's no one else that knows Missy's game more than you. So have you, clearly you've learned what to tell her, but do you tell her like the shot that you think she would succeed at, or do you respond just, confirming her thoughts? Like, how do you work in that situation?
It's pretty rare where I say that she threw the wrong disc or something. Like there's sometimes I'm like
beforehand, like if she asked before the shot, like asking for that advice.
Before the shot, I'll have my opinions, and I try and go with like, I can tell she's leaning one way or the other, so I try and just like confirm, like to reaffirm her and get her to be confident in what she's 100%. Throwing.
Yeah.
I think it's good advice for caddies.
Are you
definitely
willing?
If it's 100%, whether it's the wrong choice is better than a 50-50 of the right choice. So
for sure,
that confirmation from a caddy is huge, whether it's right or wrong. So,
right, 100%.
Tom, are you willing to admit this? You may not have a story on this, but if you do, are you willing to admit it? Have you ever, like, and I saw a video the other day in a golf tournament, a caddy, I guess he mixed up the 6 and the 9 on the iron. And he handed his player a 6-iron when he meant to hand him a 9-iron. And the player was so engrossed in the shot that the player didn't notice. And he hit it, and he, airmails the green by like 35 yards. It's a ridiculous thing. And then the player looks at the club and sees and looks at the caddy, and they had this moment that could have gone really bad. Thankfully, they both started laughing, including the player. So thankfully it went well. Have you ever had a moment like that? Not necessarily a handing the wrong disc, but it might have been. Have you ever had a moment where after the fact you went, "Ooh, I just got away with one," or, have you ever had that kind of thing happen?
Not that I can think of. So Missy, for the most part, picks the discs out of her bag. I've caught her a few times picking the wrong disc.
Oh, and you saved it. Okay.
I'm pretty, I try and pay attention.
I try to make sure I have discs, especially my go-tos, that aren't the same color, but every once in a while it just is inevitable. You find the perfect one, and then it's like right next to your other very important disc, and
that's a totally different disc.
Yep. I have done that where I'm like walking to the tee all confident, and Tom's like, "Raptor?" I'm like,
really?
Crap. I'm like, I meant to throw a mantis, like 100% off.
2 red ones.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How do you organize the bag? Tom, do you organize the bag? Does Missy, do you have an organizational structure to your bag? This is a big question because I've seen this on social media where some people are like, "Oh, if you organize your bag, that's, you're a geek or whatever." And I'm like, well, I have to, otherwise I will leave discs everywhere. I have to be able to look at my bag and see a gap and know that I left it. Do you organize your bag? And if so, how do you do it?
I think Missy does the organized. We do it like the same way. And I honestly, I know her bag better than my own. So it's like, I know where things go. There's like an order to it. It's like, left to right, like the slow discs, the mid-range, fairway, distance drivers and everything.
Yeah, apparently I'm backwards because my friends who are righty will take their discs out with their right hand. So that means like the underside of the rim will be like where you're, facing to the right. But I go the other way because I always take the discs out with my left hand. I'm also like maybe ambidextrous a little bit, but not really. So anyways,
you can read minds.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's one thing. Yeah, they're kind of like the top of the disc is, if you're looking at the bag, is facing to the right. So whatever. But then I go slow to fast, and then usually understable to overstable within each division of discs. So that's how I do it.
All right, team, organize your bag. You guys are on board. Good. That makes me feel. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jen, do you organize your bag?
Absolutely not.
Not okay. Your team don't organize your bag.
Get it in it.
Do you think it's geeky to do so, or are you just like, this is just the way I do it?
I don't really like. It doesn't really matter to me. On my cart, if I'm using the Zuka cart, I have mids up top and drivers down below or fairways. But with the grip bag, I mean, I just. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Honestly, when I play practice rounds, I get lazy. I kind of put them wherever.
Or sometimes he'll be carrying the bag a lot of the time. So like I'll forget and I'll just like hand him the other disc back or whatever, not thinking like, oh, well, how's he gonna, he's gonna have to take the whole bag off to put it in.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll just reach around and just like shove it in.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to go back and be like, oh, yeah. But I understand because I'm the one who gave it to him. So yeah.
Fun stuff.
Missy, is there a tournament that you are most looking forward to this year? And then Tom, is it the same or do you have a different?
Oof.
What was that? I feel like I just answered this question somewhere else, but now I can't.
You mean
remember
other
what my
people
answer
interview
was.
you too?
Yeah, but I don't even know what my answer was now.
I guess,
well, okay, go ahead.
I'm excited for that the chess.com invitational. I'm excited to see that course. I've seen it on coverage like for years now. It looks like a fun course and not too far from home, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I'm curious how much it'll change. I know we're playing like for All-Stars, I guess we're playing like a safari layout, but I don't know how different Paul has made it, if at all. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be there in a little less than a week. So
I was going to say, basically one step at a time. You're excited for the first one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then that answer can
That's
change.
like one of the new ones for sure. I think I think the rest of them are pretty much the same. Well, Houston, did that one change? No, it's still the same. Most of them are the same. I can't remember.
Yeah, most of them are pretty much the same.
I would say for me, it's probably Champions Cup because it's at Northwood Black. I seem to have decent success there. So that would be a really cool thing to, have an opportunity to, although it does make Ledgestone three-peat a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little sad because we're playing just the one course 4 times for Ledgestone. If it gives me a better opportunity, a better chance at winning a major by being at Northwood, then, I'll take that. so yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. That was going to be
my next question is there a tournament that if you could win one tournament, what would be the number one that you would want to win again or win period?
Win period. Yeah. I think a three-peat at any event would be amazing. So, I think that I still would put Ledgestone up there as the one that I would want to win again, just because you just don't hear that happening much nowadays. So that would just be really cool to have on my resume. But yeah, I think a major is one of those ones that it just is the next thing, the next thing that I want to do. And so any one of the majors.
I was going to say, not going to be picky, right?
Yeah. No, I'll take a major.
Are you excited to play U.S. Women's so quickly and being a new down in Texas? Have you played Round Rock and those courses before?
No, I have not. Yeah. And I think it will be cool to have an early major. It won't backload the end of the season as much.
Right.
So yeah, I like having them spread out. And then I guess Worlds will be at a more traditional time in August, I think. So yeah, I think just because Worlds was so late last year and then we had Throw Pink that feels like a major and then,
boom,
US
boom,
Women's,
boom.
yeah, it felt like a lot. And because of the playoffs and those are 4 rounds, yeah, all of that was kind of crazy. So I think anything is going to feel nicer than that. This not nicer, but whatever. Yeah, less
easier.
Easier, less jam packed. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to have that early on.
Tom, is your answer the same in terms of events you're looking forward to? Are you also thinking areas that have great mountain biking, or since you do a lot of the driving, there are parts of this country that I really enjoy driving through, and there are parts of this country that there's about an 8 or 9 hour stretch that I'd love to magically skip. As you're thinking through the season, is there a part of the season that you're most looking forward to?
I love the Northeast. We have family up there in New York, so we if we can stop by there, say hi to them for a little bit. But I love Vermont. It's like probably my favorite state. Beautiful up there, and there's really nice mountain biking up there too. Yeah, between Vermont, Maple Hill, I think both of those just premier courses, beautiful areas, and we're there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Is there a course that you or a tournament that you dread caddying for more than another one? Like
That's a good one.
Deagla's a lot of hills. Is there a course that's harder to caddy for than another?
Deagle's a good one for sure. It's steep, especially with the cart. Pushing that cart up the hill ain't easy.
Yeah, maybe that was a bad choice.
Yeah,
on both of us.
yeah.
I am very thankful
the
to
cart
not
is
have to
going
carry
to
it back.
stay broken in the trailer this year.
Yeah. I just ordered the
course.
parts. It's supposed to get here on the 8th.
She's making a comeback. Making a comeback, but we
Might not
know
be fixed
where
in
not
time.
to bring her this time.
Yeah, right. The flat, the first courses are pretty good.
Yeah.
And maybe OTB.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, do you want to play a game with them before we let them go?
Absolutely.
We've got a little game that we like to play whenever we get couples here on the show. We call it Who of You Two.
Oh, gosh.
Basically, we'll give you a prompt and you get to tell us which of the two of you fits that prompt better.
Okay.
It's especially fun when you're both pointing at each other. That's kind of what we're going for, but we'll see what happens. We've just got a set of these. We'll just kind of lightning round through them and we'll see what happens, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Okay, so to start on things, you might have already given, this will be a nice easing into the game thing. You might have already given us a hint, but of the two of you, who is the better driver?
Me.
Of a vehicle, not of a disc.
I think, yeah. I mean, I tried, like I said, I try and do most of driving. I've had my license longer.
True.
It doesn't really mean much because it's been, I don't know. How old am I? 35? 20 years old?
Also, his cute little face, he always gets off whenever he's gotten pulled over like 3 times. And every time they're
Just
like,
warnings.
You're good. I've gotten pulled over once and they were like, give her a ticket, go to court.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I was like, I barely did anything. And I was on my way to Habitat for Humanity project, which, angel me, but yeah, anyway.
That's a bad deal.
That was a mean cop.
Sorry, go ahead. That wasn't very rapid fire. We had a lot of talking.
That's fine. Okay, so when after the round or after the tournament, who gets to pick where we're eating?
I'd like to think Missy.
Mm-hmm.
Missy's a little more picky.
I'm picky during competition
Especially
days.
during
I will eat anything and everything. I will try everything once. But for some reason, when I'm competing, I'm very much particular about what I put in my body.
Uh-huh.
Give us some examples of the kind of places you pick.
Okay, well, we do cook a lot, but the one thing that is actually kind of funny and maybe out of normal food for, I don't know, for me as like a athlete or whatever. But during the Pro Tour Championship in 2021, we stayed at a campground that was right next to a Culvers, and every single day, that's all that I wanted was Culvers, and then
Culvers chicken tenders too.
Chicken tenders. I don't know what it was about that particular time of the year and what was like. I guess maybe just the stress levels of the Pro Tour Championship. Ended up winning, so I don't know. Shout out Culvers. Maybe we'll partner up.
New sponsor. Did you follow it up with the ice cream or just
once
going chicken
in a while? Or Tom would get it, and then I would have a little bit of his. But
Culvers and the cheese curds.
Oh my gosh,
it's just calories.
Really not the best food to be eating, but I don't know.
Sometimes your body needs
was
that.
what it was. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
There's a Culver's not too far from the course at Northwood. There's a Culver's it's in fact, it's almost the closest place you can get hot food. And that's the first Culver's I ever went to was one of the trips up to the Peoria area and over there in Morton and I learned what because they don't have Culver's where I live. We have Freddy's and we have Brahms where I live, very sort of regional. So you should try them when you're over in Texas. They'll have Freddy's and Brahms's in Texas.
Nice.
I'm sure you've tried Brahms in Emporia.
Peoria.
Emporia.
That's
we've
right.
Been there.
They do have Brahms in Emporia.
And we've been to Freddy's before as well.
Yeah,
We actually have one up the street here too, but I don't know. We try
But
not
still,
to.
Culver's
every
has
once in a while.
Yeah, Culver's has that traditional, when I eat Culver's, I win championships. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
This is a good question because you all exist so frequently in such a small space together. Which of the two of you is messier?
Oof. I am probably me.
We're both pretty messy.
At certain things. Like, I try and do more of the dish cleaning. She makes the bed every day.
True. We like our different things. Like, I hate, like, cleaning things. I'll do it. Like once I start doing it,
sure.
I'm like all in. Again, I give myself 100% of myself, whatever I'm doing. But yeah, like I love like making things look tidy. I just don't love like the nitty gritty, tedious cleaning. Yeah.
I identify with that.
Yeah,
I get it.
So we're both messy, I would say.
Yeah, I think I'm a little messier, but I also like clean more, clean like the deep clean. I'm not as tidy. Like I don't do the fine details like she does.
Okay, we probably already know this answer, but maybe not. Who of the two is more competitive?
Oof. I think it's pretty for sure. Missy.
Yeah, really bad. I don't even like playing competitive board games with my friends because board game Missy comes out and it's not good. I don't love who I am during those times. But it works really well for my job.
Yes, yeah. Uno cards flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I think I had somebody at my wedding come up to me and they said, "Oh, do you have Monopoly?" I said, "Yeah, in a closet somewhere. We have Monopoly. Throw it away." And I went, "What?" And he said, "Just trust me. Throw it away." Okay, whatever.
It's Settlers of Catan for our group of friends because that's like deliberately like messing up with other people's plans and stuff, kind of. So that's when I'm just like, really? You're gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna trade with them?
It's like the whole point of the game, but for some reason I can't get over that. But yeah.
Who of you mentioned this before, cooking when you can, at least on the road. So who's the better cook?
Missy's definitely the better cook. I try real hard. Just not that good at it.
I will say though, we've been together so long, like I definitely like, because I loved cooking. Like I love cooking. Specifically I in the past I loved baking. That was like my thing, but I do love cooking and experimenting with different flavors and stuff like that. And since we've been together so long, he has wanted to learn more, and he's definitely like, I have full faith in him to make whatever, even if it sounds,
ridiculous.
No, like complicated or like
Don't be crazy on Pinterest. Yeah,
literally, we just made gluten-free pierogies last night, and he was the one who made them the first time we made them, and it actually came out better the first time when he made them by himself. So maybe I need to pass the baton.
Gluten-free pierogies.
Nice.
They're pretty good, pretty easy. I mean, they take time, but like process is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, writing that down.
Okay, so who is the best fixer? Who has to fix everything?
Oh, yeah. That's me for sure.
They call him Tinker Tom on tour because he's helping people with their van or that they're this, that, or the other thing. Yeah. I
can't help. I love like either fixing things or taking it apart, see what's wrong. Oops. But it's just, that's all I've done this off season too. It's just work on the house, like tinker with things, make it a little better where I can. Mm-hmm. We built we had a porch we kind of enclosed and put up siding and drywall and made a room. Yeah,
he's a fixer. I'm more of like I feel like I have a little bit of like an engineer thing. Like I love figuring out how to make something work, but he can fix things that are like just need to be fixed. Yeah.
Which of the two of you is luckier, just in general?
Well, we just talked about him not ever getting a ticket, so I'm going to say
that's fair. I think
all right, there you go.
His last name's Szevin. You got a little bit of luck there, too.
I didn't think about that. That's cool. Well, and that's a real life application where luck actually, matters.
Yeah.
Getting tickets. As opposed to like, I can roll a 6 anytime I want and win this board game, which would probably hurt your relationship.
Yeah, right. For sure.
Who has more patience?
I think me.
Oh my gosh.
Usually.
I'm bad. Bad. It depends on the thing, but like for the most part, like everyone, I remember growing up and like people, my mom's a teacher, but people always thought my Spanish teacher thought I could be a really good teacher. And I'm like, I don't think I could because I don't know that I could I figure out how to explain how to do something, to other, like even teaching disc golf kind of didn't come super naturally to me. Because I'm just like, well, you just do it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, in general, I think, I'm a little bit more impulsive or like ready to do whatever. Yeah.
Do you think that fills your role as a caddy? Like that really is a huge part of.
Yeah,
of your
I
job?
think so, for sure. Just being patient. Birds will come where they will.
To the competitor.
Right,
Who's
right.
competitive. Yeah.
Yep.
These all work out perfectly for you two.
I know.
Yeah.
Incredible,
I know.
actually.
I know.
No, it's not. But you guys have been together a long time. You have a home, at least that you get to spend some time at in the
Yep.
off season. When it comes to something that happens to all of us, you get a bill that there's an error on it, and you've got to call the 800 number and dial 1 if this, 2 if that, and go through there.
Yeah.
And then you've got to yell at someone about which of you has to be the Karen when someone has to be? Which of you two is that person?
I think Missy. Like, Missy's having more of a Karen. Like, I'll try and do it nicely.
Which is why he gets out of tickets.
Yeah, probably. Come on, man.
Do you agree?
Well, I would agree, although I would also say that he would be the one to try first, right? Like, see if the nice cop works.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't,
Then
I'm
he
always
hands
like,
the phone to you.
yeah, I'm always like
Yeah.
overanalyzing. Like, I always try to like expect the like, okay, they're probably going to say this, that, or the other thing. And like, in reality, I should just call and see what happens. Right. But, for me, I just overthink the process that's going to happen. Always ready to like be on the defense. I also, that's my mom's fault. I'm going to give her those.
Okay.
I love her, but like, I see so many things in myself that I remember being like, oh my gosh, Mom, like, come on. But that's who I am. And I'm like, dang it. But also really fine because, sometimes it works and you just gotta lay it on them,
I like it.
What if there is a huge spider or snake coming up to the camper in the sheets? Who has to save
In the
the
sheets,
day?
good Lord.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, campers are not very
woods. It happens.
Yeah.
I think it's me. I'm usually. Yeah.
Whoa.
Usually.
Whoa.
Depends how big the spider is.
That's the thing. I'm not really put off by spiders or snakes.
The big ones are the worst.
But I will say that every once in a while we're walking with the dogs and something moves and you're the one who goes, I don't normally react. But yeah. But I think we're both pretty comfortable with like animals and whatever, needs to happen. We get a lot of spiders in the camper, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy crawlies.
Yeah.
I mean, we work in parks, so you're going to come across some nature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In most couples, there is one person who is naturally great at, shall we say, we'll just say massages. We'll just say physical therapy, right? We'll just, whatever. And then the other one is like a Monica, if you remember back to the old Friends episodes where she thinks she's really good at it. And Chandler's just like, oh my gosh, you're killing me. All right. So who's who?
I mean, Tom is a big part of my post-round therapy, like he'll hypervolt me or we have like
massage gun.
The massage
Yeah.
gun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Percussive.
Yeah, no, not like, electro.
Yeah, that's what sorry. I was like, are you putting do you plug it into the cigarette lighter in the camper? How does that work?
I forgot that would probably sound weird just saying the brand name. But
charge it back up.
Yeah. And then like we have like that myofascial scraping tool and stuff like that. That's really helpful. So he's all into that stuff. And also my hands are just not very strong, but I'll give him a massage every once in a while.
That's what the gun's for. The massage gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit
good
easier.
tool.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm probably not good at it because I'm just not, I don't have the, I don't have the strength, the hand strength.
Mm-hmm.
The line I usually get is that it? That's all you got? 3 minutes for me? Yeah.
Who said I love you first?
Oof.
I think it was you. God,
Really?
that's so long ago. But yeah, I vaguely remember you dropping me off at home and like, and then just saying it one day and I forget. I don't know. I think it was you though.
But did you say it back?
Yes, I definitely did. I think it's so crazy because you're like 17, 18, like that's a big word to say. And sometimes you hear about like teenagers saying it too early, or they don't know what love is or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was Tom. But I don't remember.
When
Might
you
have been
said
when we
it
were
back,
official.
or when you said it, did you think you would be still saying it this many years later?
I know. I mean, I have no idea. We were thinking about college, and we knew we were going to separate colleges. So that was like, I remember him dropping me off at my college, and I'm just like a mess, But yeah, we knew you can't predict the future, and
Right.
we had our breaks here and there. You do your thing, but yeah, it all worked out in the end.
Do you guys have anything special planned for Valentine's Day?
14th. No, I mean, we're leaving on Monday on the 12th to go down to Florida. Well, we're in Florida, to go down to Brooksville. Settling into practicing and stuff like that. We have never really been big on like Valentine's Day.
I've tried cooking a couple times. I know Missy likes seafood a lot. I try, but she's a better cook, so.
Yeah, or maybe we'll go out. Maybe we'll go out to dinner or something.
There you go.
See what they have down
Get
there.
that plan worked out real quick.
Yeah.
Culvers.
It's never been important.
Yeah, go to Culvers.
Go to Culvers.
Let's go.
Can't lose.
Win all stars. Boom.
I have a great friend. They go to their anniversary, and they've been married, like, I don't know, 25 years now. Taco Mayo, which you guys probably don't know, but Grant knows Taco Mayo.
Yeah, it's in our region.
It's probably worse than Taco Bell. I don't know. It's different. But it's been their tradition for so long that they still do it, even though they have, could go to the nicest restaurant they want to, just because when they were so young and broke little kids, that's where they went. So they still do it. So who knows? Maybe Culvers will be your new thing for life. And
Cute.
you're 80 and you're like, honey, go get me my chicken tenders.
Right.
Well, it's funny. We've only been married for like a little over a year, but we've been together for 17 years or whatever. Like, it's just like the anniversary still is kind of funny because we're just like, well, it felt like we were married forever. We just didn't make it official until recently. So
I see. Okay. Well, we learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best this year. Thanks for giving us a little preview and a little insight, pulling the curtain back a little bit and to your relationship and how you make it work in, like we've said so many times in this conversation, such a unique life. When you guys, someday in the future, if you ever, have a normal life, it's going to be all new to you and people are going to go, what? So that's really a special thing for you guys to let us be a part of. So thanks so much for that. We wish you the best of luck this season. Hey, find some cool mountain biking trails, Tom. I'm thinking about you too, buddy. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
Have a great time. Thanks for joining us today. Safety travels, all that stuff.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was fun.